Apple just got done with their new event, and it was actually pretty cool. There's a couple new products that were announced, a lot of new updates. Some of them were not like super exciting. Sorry if you hear rain in the background. It just so happens to be raining where I'm at. So let's start with the first one, AirPods Pro 3. I thought they were awesome. It says a lot about a company when somebody, like no matter where they're at, they want to buy, you know, these things. Like for me, the AirPod Pros, I would buy them like the second they went out on, you know, if they broke on me, I would buy them right away. So the AirPod Pro 3. So one of the big things is the noise cancellation in these are now better. It says it's 2 times better. How do you calculate that? I don't really know. But 2 times is great and 4 times better than the old AirPods. And this to me was one of the coolest things is the fact that these AirPods now have a live translation layer. My wife is Spanish. Her whole family is Spanish. I can't speak to her grandma. This would be so sweet to be able to put these in and have a conversation. There is a delay, obviously, and with the track record of how bad Apple Intelligence has been, I don't know, you know, how much of my life I'm staking on these things. However, it is a great advancement. I mean, that is kind of like a future of technology that needs to happen. So I don't know. I think that's a really cool thing. And we'll have to see how it works out. Obviously, you know, you can hold your phone up for the other person, or if they have AirPod Pros as well, it'll translate. But man, that would be a really like disjointed conversation happening. But at least it's like enough to survive on if you're in another country. And then the other big thing is that these now have a heart rate sensing, which is, you know, fairly cool, I suppose. If you're an Apple Watch user, this is not a really big deal for you, but if you're somebody who doesn't have an Apple Watch and you know, maybe you like using regular watches, but you still want some of that ability, now your AirPods Pro can do it. So it's got them in like the side of the cuff so it can sense your heart rate in that. Now the good thing about these, and I've never had a problem with the battery life on AirPod Pros, but this is 8 hours of noise cancellation. That's a really big deal. And I love the fact that Apple did not raise the price. I love, like, these things sit at a really solid price where, like I said, if they go out, they're probably good to like buy them right away, whereas if they were $500 like the AirPods Pro Max or AirPods Max, like that's too much money. I would love to, you know, see these things come down maybe a little bit, but they are full, like they are literally one of the products that Apple makes that is worth every single penny. Next up, Apple did all their new watches. There are some cool upgrades. It very much is just an iteration this time. They're saying that it's 2 times the scratch resistance of the last one. Whenever a company says that, I'm like, man, I don't know, because every product I've ever gotten will eventually break. So I hope it's better. It's probably not. And then I guess in the most American thing possible, it tells you if you have hypertension. Then next they revealed the new Apple Watch Ultra 3, which I actually ordered. So if you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And they made it with a bigger screen. You know, that thankfully, because that thing is pretty massive on your wrist. Like, get as much screen real estate as you can out of it. It's got a bigger battery. And I've always loved that the Apple Watch Ultra has just such great watch faces with so much information. I don't use my Apple Watch to like be a pretty background. I want as much information as possible. The next thing, they introduced satellite usage, which is very helpful if you lose connectivity with your phone, to have it for messages and Find My and all of that. Now, as somebody who hikes, like this would actually be helpful to have a satellite. Say you get hurt out in the wilderness, out in the wild. It is pretty cool to have that kind of connectivity like on your wrist as just a normal thing. So like, I think this is really awesome. The Apple Watch is not for everybody, but if you do that kind of stuff, then you know it's for you. Battery life on this thing is going to be absolutely insane. 42 hours of battery life is a whole lot of battery. And I get it, Garmin users. I understand you guys have batteries that last 900 days or whatever you say, but this is in the Apple ecosystem, and so it's better. I do like the 2 finishes. It's got a darker finish and then kind of like a silvery finish. I'm gonna go with the darker one, but yeah, I think people who like that kind of lighter metal, that can go for you, but be cool like us and get the darker metal one. And then we have the prices of these guys. The Apple Watch SE is going to be $249, and then the Apple Watch Series 11 is going to be $399, and the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is going to be $799, which is very, very expensive. After that, Apple unveiled the new iPhone 17, which it is an iterative upgrade. I think some of the camera stuff is really cool in this, so we'll go over that in just a second, but let's keep a looking at this. The colors on this thing are absolutely awesome. I mean, I think it's pretty sweet. So the iPhone 17 has a 6.3-inch display, and here's what's crazy about it. It is finally ProMotion. This is the first non-Pro device to get ProMotion, and that's a pretty big deal, because that means it's going to trickle down to everything else in the lineup. So eventually, we're going to get an iPad mini with ProMotion, and that's going to be awesome. And then it's got the A19 chip. The A19 chip, it's going to be a great chip because the A18 chip was a great chip. It's a little bit of an upgrade of the chip. That's a cool chip thing, huh? Now here is the biggest upgrade I think on this is the fact that the cameras on it do what it's like open gate, where the full sensor size can be used, so you can actually go vertical or horizontal or 3x2, somewhere in between. That's actually really helpful. As somebody who does a lot of video work, I want my cameras to be the open gate where it's using the full sensor width or full sensor size. And the fact that that's coming to the iPhone is pretty cool. Now, they did say something about you can refit it after the fact. I don't know. I didn't see anything like that. Maybe, in the comments, go ahead and say, like, if you can see that, where you can resize the picture after the fact. But it is very cool to have open gate in an iPhone. Next up, this is the brand new product, and it is sweet in some regards and absolutely ridiculous in other regards. It is the new iPhone 17 Air. It was leaked all over the internet, so people have probably already seen this. It's a very thin iPhone, which is cool to have a 5.6 millimeter thin iPhone. However, I don't know how many people are asking for a thinner iPhone. Like, better battery life. I don't want a thicker iPhone, but I want a smaller iPhone, like the actual size. That's why I want a foldable iPhone. But a thinner iPhone for some people might be cool. To me, all it does is it kind of creates some problems with heat and with battery life. Like, one of the funniest things about this thing is the fact that they added a battery pack as like a big feature that's coming up. We didn't give you enough battery, so we're going to offer you to pay, you're going to pay us more money for a battery pack. And then this thing's going to be the price and the size of an iPhone Pro Max. That's kind of ridiculous, Apple. That was not the greatest move, And this has the A19 Pro chip, which is going to be a sweet chip. It's got a little bit extra bump up and other things, and the biggest upgrade is the fact that it does have the kind of neural accelerators in the GPU cores, which just means it's going to work better than the one before. And something most people don't care about, it has the C1X chip, so it's Wi-Fi is going to be good on it. People don't care about this stuff. Nerds do, and you're going to comment, you're going to tell me I'm an idiot, but I'm not an idiot. Camera on it's pretty solid, 48 megapixels. It looks pretty good. And you can do the 2-time telephoto, which is, I don't like the telephoto lens in any of the iPhones. I like the wide angle ones, so not a big deal for me. Might be for you. And then the front facing camera is 18 megapixels. That's pretty sweet, helpful. And just like the other iPhones, it does have that same open gate thing. And then the Grand Poobah himself, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. It's got a vapor chamber. That's pretty much the coolest thing about it. Now, laptops have been doing this forever, where they put vapor chambers in them to try to spread out the heat. Now, finally, apparently iPhones are at a place where they need to be spread out in the same way. That was a weird way to say it. I do really like that color of that kind of darker blue one. I don't think I like the orange one that much. I know like guys like Carl Conrad, they're going to like that a lot. It looks pretty sweet. And then the battery on this did get bigger, which that is helpful. Again, that's what people want in a phone. They want a better battery, not a thinner phone, so that's kind of funny. 39 hours of video playback, that's a long time. And then all the cameras on it now have 48 megapixels. That's helpful to get the best possible photos, because this is probably the camera you're taking with you everywhere. You see the what would be like the modern day hipsters. They take their cameras everywhere, the little X100Vs and all that kind of stuff. Just use your cell phone. So here's the pricing on these guys. The iPhone 17 is $800 or $799. iPhone Air is going to be $999. The Pro is going to be $1099, and then the Pro Max is $1199. That's expensive for some phones, man, but at least it's not going like way up in the air. So that was everything at the new Apple event. Tell me what you think you want to see. I bought the 17 Air and the 17 Pro Max, and I bought the Apple Watch Ultra. So if you want to see those videos, you want to see the reviews and all that kind of stuff, go ahead, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. Like this video if you found it helpful. Sub to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one.